Okay, hi everyone. Today we have Elena Wong from Drew University with us. I'm super excited to have you here. We were just chatting that the last time I was at Drew was way too long ago, but the distinct images in my head of the beautiful campus remain. So even though it's been some time, and actually just even looking at these pictures, my memory is still intact, which I guess is a good thing as I'm aging. I'm like, yes, I can still remember exactly what this campus looks like. So Elena, I will let you take it from here.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here virtually and to share more about Drew. So I'm going to give you an overview, but I'll make sure, we're going to also talk about the admission process and financial aid, because I know those are really key things and important things to go over. So Drew University, we are that classic liberal arts and sciences college. We're based in Madison, New Jersey. So we have that nice campus community, but we have the opportunities of New York City. We're very easy to get to. We're 20 minutes from Newark International Airport. And again, we're 45 minutes from New York City. So a cool location. So in terms of, who we are, we're a smaller school, about 1,700 undergraduate students. The student faculty ratio is 11:1, average class size is 17. So again, some nice opportunities to really get to know your professors. But if you haven't been to Madison, if you don't know Madison, it is the most charming town. We're named the second safest town in New Jersey. So it's a very safe area, but this is just 3 blocks from campus, and there's great restaurants, fun stores. So this is a great way for students to get off campus if they want to, right? And so we've been in a lot of movies and TV shows because we have that nice main street with the ice cream parlor and the coffee shop. And so this is right by campus, and this is also where the train station is to go into New York. So great campus community. 90% of our students are living on campus. Housing is guaranteed all 4 years, but there's some fun things happening right around campus as well. So as I've shared, right, we're that smaller school of 1,700 students. You're only working with professors. The moment you get on campus, there's going to be research opportunities for you, right? That huge focus on the undergraduate experience. So we offer over 60 majors and minors, so incredible opportunities to try new things. And what's nice about our academic programs is that you don't declare a major to the end of your sophomore year. So we want to talk with you. We want to figure out what you're interested in. We'll get you into those different fields, but we also want you to try new things. And so the most popular majors at Drew are going to be business, psychology, English, biology, political science, international relations, communications, and media. Quite the variety for our students, which is great. But again, different opportunities. For students really know us for our theater program. We're ranked in the top 20 for theater. There's no audition needed to be a theater major at Drew. If you're interested in theater tech, that's a great opportunity to do at Drew, right? Because it's open, the theater program is open to all students. And so we do 8 main stage productions a year. And again, if you decide that you want to be an anthropology major and you want to take some theater classes, or if you want to just participate, you have that opportunity to do that as well. So really great opportunities for arts, strong science programs. You're going to be in the labs doing research. You're going to be working with retired scientists. So from arts to sciences and everything between, there's a lot happening at Drew. So a question that I get a lot is what makes Drew different, right? There are a lot of liberal arts and sciences colleges. So what makes Drew different? So I think the big thing is this idea of launch your future. And we're very excited about this. We have created a curriculum because our whole belief from the very beginning is that education in the classroom is important, but education outside is equally as important. We want students to have that experience. We want students to realize that you can and you will learn everywhere. So we created a curriculum around this in which we are guaranteeing / requiring 2 off-campus experiences. So whether it's one of our classes in New York City, a study abroad experience, or an internship that we give credit for, we want you to have that different experience. So something that makes us different is that we actually offer 7 classes right in New York City. So you'll still live on campus, but you'll go into New York every Tuesday and Thursday. We actually pay for the transportation to and from to allow all students to have this experience. And we have a class at the United Nations. We have a class on Wall Street, communications and media, theater, social entrepreneurship. And our newest program is on museums and cultural studies, right? So we want like amazing opportunities. This semester at the United Nations, there's 3 universities that have a relationship with the UN. We started our program in 1963. We recently found a photo of the first group, the first cohort to do that program, and it's amazing, it's priceless. the semester at theater, we've teamed up with a Tectonic Theater Company, and they're the ones who did the Laramie project. And so students actually create a piece in New York City and they show it at the Tectonic Theater. So they understand not only acting and directing, but what does it mean to run a show in New York? What does it mean to produce and to market? The semester on communications and media, which is becoming one of the most popular programs, they go from, you know, everywhere to NBC Universal to BuzzFeed News to see the cultural changing landscape. So really incredible opportunities to take advantage of one of these 7 classes in New York. They're open for all students. You do have to apply, but we really make sure that the student who wants to take this and do this program is able to. So great opportunities. Study abroad is a big part of who we are. Last year, 71% of our students studied abroad. And I think what's so important in this very crazy virtual world right now is that we're going to know you. When we had students studying abroad in the spring, we knew exactly where they were. We got in touch with them. We figured out how to bring them back as quickly as we could. And that's who we are as a school, right? So we want you to study abroad. We want you to have that experience, but know that when you are studying abroad, we're watching and we're making sure that you're okay. So we have programs, of course, that are semester long, and we have programs, of course, that are year long. But what's nice is that we have programs where you'll take a class on campus and then travel to that area with that class. And so for an example, in archaeology program, they went to Italy for 3 weeks to do an actual archaeological dig, right? And taking what you're learning in the class and applying it into a real life situation. We had one that I tried to like awkwardly invite myself to, but they unfortunately said no. And it was an anthropology class, and it was called The Tale of Two Cities. And they went to Miami, Florida for a week and Havana, Cuba for a week to see the cultural similarities and differences. A business studies class, they went to Japan for a week to see how Asian markets were impacting the economy. So this is a great way for students who maybe don't want to study abroad by themselves. You're traveling with your class, you're traveling with your cohort. And you can actually travel to more places that way. So really incredible immersive experiences, and it's something that we really pride ourselves on at Drew. I love the professors at Drew. They are so passionate. They're so excited for their students. They know their students. And so at Drew, you will know your professors and they will know you. And so every student will have an advisor. And then once you declare a major, you'll find an advisor in that field. But something that we're doing with Launch is that we want to get you connected earlier on. And so we're going to work with you to figure out what you are interested in doing. And we want to start connecting you with people in that field. So when you leave, you have a strong network of mentors around you, right? So you are connecting with people because let's just be real, right? It's all about who you know. And so we want to start that earlier on. You're going to have a network of mentors. So not only will you have professors who are mentors, but you're going to have other people in the industry that you want to get into to be a mentor as well. And it's incredible. And then transferable skills. You know, we love our students, but we want them gone in 4 years in the nicest possible way, right? And so internships play a really crucial role. And what's great is that we are in a really cool location where, of course, we have New York City, but we have this surrounding area, right? Right on campus, we have the Shakespeare Theater Company of New Jersey where students are doing internships. We have, you know, different, we're in pharmaceutical land, so, you know, and they need student workers. But I was just talking to the chair of the Math and Computer Science program, and one of their final projects is that they worked with a local company, and by local, a multi-billion-dollar company. And this company presented a problem that the students had to figure out a problem to. It was a real life situation, and they came up with a situation, they came up with the answer, and now students had jobs there, and students were interning there. So it's not just in the classroom, and it's not just, you know, internships, but it's kind of this combination with Launch and combining the two things together. I've talked a lot about people not being on campus. We are highly residential. We are that campus with fun traditions, a strong campus community. Move-in day, the bottom photo in the center, move-in day is my favorite tradition, and not just because move-in day is like the birthday for admission people. It is like amazing. So they have tailored it where, you know, every dorm and every floor is moving in a certain time. In the whole community, we're all wearing like welcome crew t-shirts. We're standing along the side, cheering and welcoming them in. You open up the trunk and we attack the cars and we get you into the room. And it's such a Drew experience, and it's amazing. And so as I've shared, you know, 90% of our students live on campus. Housing is guaranteed for all 4 years. But for freshmen, 94% of our students are living on campus. So they do like to be on campus because there's so many things happening. We have over 100 events. We have over 90 clubs and organizations. And we have 22 varsity sports. We've just added volleyball for both men and women, and we're thrilled. But we have equestrian, we have fencing, which is a little different for varsity sport. But again, for 45 minutes, we're an hour to New York City, right? And so we'll say, go see a show in New York or go have dinner in the city. And you can do that. We're not a suitcase school. Students do like to be on campus just because there's so much happening. And so that's kind of the overview of Drew. And so I'm going to quickly just talk about how we review applications. So we use the common application or the coalition application. We review the transcript, but we're also looking at the curriculum, the classes that you took, but also the classes that were offered at your school. We know that every high school is different in terms of what's offered. Very nerdy, I love reading essays. I love hearing what you have to share, right? And that your essay is the voice of the application, so I love reading the essay. Recommendations, we require one counselor and one teacher recommendation. Extracurricular activities. We know you're very busy, right? So we just like to see what are you doing in your free time. And so extracurricular activities, I know there's a lot of conversation right now about that because some things have been canceled, right? An extracurricular activity doesn't have to have a fancy title. It doesn't have to be affiliated with the school. If you love painting and that's something that you really love doing, that's an extracurricular activity. If you, in sheltering in place, have found a passion for baking and that's what you love, that's an extracurricular activity. If you care for a family member, that's an extracurricular activity, right? So again, just trying to get to know who you are and what you like to do.
I just want to say thank you for that statement, Elena. Thank you for saying that, because students need to hear that, because just like you said, that's something right now that's causing a significant amount of anxiety with students.
Oh my gosh, absolutely, right? And I just did a program last night and I was like, very friendly, like, you're not special, you guys, like, you're not special. Everyone, this is universal right now. Everyone is going through this. If you're concerned about your transcript and if it's going to be pass fail, if it's going to be incomplete, this is universal. This is happening with everyone. So please know that we're real people on the other side of this whole process. We're really trying to get to know you. And if there are any questions, we're going to reach out. So please don't worry about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. We're test optional. We've been optional for a while. We're proud. We know what it means to read without a test score. And so if you have been able to take a test and you think you're proud of your scores, submit them. If you don't. It's purely optional. We don't need anything in place. And then interviews with us, they're strongly recommended. So I encourage you to do an interview. It's a one-on-one where it's a conversation where we just want to get to know you, right? And so you can go online, and we're doing lots of colleges right now are doing virtual interviews. And so some different application deadlines. So we have an accelerated medical school program with New Jersey Medical School, and that's November 1st. We have early decision, which is also November 1st, early action December 1st, early decision 2, January 15th, and regular decision February 1st. So some nice deadlines that are kind of spread out. And so you just need to kind of pick, the early decision, and early decision is binding, early action is not. And so you just have to kind of pick what is best for you. And then financial aid. So we only need the FAFSA. Last year we handed out over $33 million in institutional grants and scholarships. We're very proud of that. And last year about 85% of our students received some sort of institutional assistance. Something that I so love about our financial aid office. They're wonderful. But you're going to be working with one financial aid counselor for all 4 years. Financial aid is a very personal story. You shouldn't have to share your story to so many people to get an answer, right? You're going to talk to one person who knows you, who knows the family dynamic, and you're going to have your questions answered from that one person. And so I think that that's so key, right? You shouldn't have to share so many personal things with people just to get an answer. So you're going to call that one person. But
that's pretty distinct, Elena. That's not something that's common at schools to have that. That's really great that you guys do that.
Oh my gosh, it is amazing. And I think families feel more comfortable just because, if they lose a job or if they get a job or if something happens, they're going to, they don't have to like explain their situation to so many people. And so we want to reward students who have done well in school. So we offer merit scholarships that can range from $10,000 to $25,000 And that's something that we do on our own. It's not a separate application. So if you apply, you're already eligible for a merit scholarship. We do have an honors program. Again, that's not a separate application. It's something that we do on our own. We have the Drew Action Scholars. So if you have students that are interested in community service and social justice, the Action Scholars are incredible. They have to do 100 hours of community service every year, and they do a big final project. But for those students who are really passionate about it, it's great. And for those who want to continue the arts at Drew, we offer a Drew scholarship in the arts. Those deadlines, the Drew Action Scholars and the Drew Scholarship in the Arts are separate applications, but they're not until February 1st. So still plenty of time to apply for that. We are trying to connect with students and show who we are, right? So we have a lot of fun things going on. We have webcast Wednesdays in which we're talking about Drew, but we're also giving general advice. So we would love for you to join. And we also have some Discover Drew Days, the one we have coming up on Sunday. And then there's a little QR code so you can, check out some of the other virtual options. And that's also where you'll find the sign up for interviews. And then that's my contact. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have or to set up a meeting with you. So it's been wonderful presenting Drew to you virtually, and I'm thrilled to be here.
So most importantly, is that you in the mascot costume?
There was one time that I almost had to be in the mascot costume, but I'm 5'3", and this is for somebody for 6 foot. So I was like preparing, but fortunately, we were able to get the person to do it, so I did not. But
does the mascot have an actual name?
No. That's a great question. We're the Drew Rangers.
Okay.
So yeah.
Got it. So Elena, just a couple questions. So going back to, in terms of the academic profile of the kind of student that you think would be successful at Drew, what does that look like in terms of obviously your test optional, so it's not necessarily a score. Who would be successful in the classroom there?
Yeah, so the student who will be successful is somebody who is not afraid to speak up, right? Who wants to work with the professor. If you want to just hide away, we're not going to be a good place for that, because if you don't show up for class, our professors might reach out to make sure that you're doing okay, right? So somebody who thinks outside of the box, somebody who likes to have discussions and who likes to have debates and who likes to have new things, right? The student who maybe started figuring things out later in their high school career, they do very well at Drew because there's so much mentorship that happens and there's so much guidance that happens. So it's kind of the student who's willing to speak out and just try new things.
Great. Amy, do you have any questions for Elena? Is there anything that she didn't cover or you want more information about?
Yeah, I'm curious on where students come from to attend Drew, because I know like the Northeast is pretty tight knit. So are they mostly like New Jersey, New York area, or are they kind of from all over?
Yeah, so great question. So the tri-state is heavily represented on campus. But California is our 5th most represented state. So we have 39 states represented. We have 49 countries represented. So it's nice that we have people from all over. Being in the West Coast and being the West Coast director, I am responsible for about 20 states. And we have seen an increase in students looking at Drew. And I think a few reasons why, but I think our location is a huge draw, right? Wanting to have that campus community, but wanting to be near the city.
Yeah, I remember when I visited the students that we talked with, that was a big draw. And actually the 2 students that were our tour guides during my visit, neither of them were from anywhere close to campus actually. And then when we asked, well, why did you come here and, take a flight to get here? I forget where they were from, but both of them cited the fact that they could have this kind of traditional college campus experience. And the fact that the train station was right there and they could literally go for a night, go out and be back to campus in in that same evening from New York was a huge draw for them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it's, I had some counselors when we could travel and when I was on campus visit. And so we had dinner in New York and they're like, what are you going to do now? I'm like, oh, I'm going to take the train back. And It's super easy. It's super safe. Madison is so incredibly safe. And they're like, are you okay? Are you okay to do that? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine to do that. But thank you so much for being so concerned. So
Yeah.
yeah, easy access.
And when I was there, we stayed close by, and it's in Madison. And I remember that it was just like you said, just like a cute area. I loved it. So,
Yeah.
oh, well, Elena, thank you for taking the time to chat with us today and share more about Drew. And, fingers crossed that everyone's staying safe and healthy. What's going on campus? Actually, do you have students back to campus yet, or what's
Great
happening?
question. We do not. We are virtual this year, and so we had to make a decision because the state of New Jersey, we're still at stage 2 for reopening, and you cannot have in-person classes until stage 3. And so there are also some there are states in which New Jersey you'd have to quarantine for 14 days.
Right.
So we still have 300. We have 300 students actually on campus right now, and those are students who are international, or they started quarantining, or they live with people who are at risk and felt uncomfortable, or this was their home, right? This is their address. We're very cognizant of that. So we have about 300 people on campus now, but everything is virtual, and they've incredible. They've fully leaned into it, right? And so our theater department, they're putting on a virtual play, and they're so excited about it. And so I'm so excited because I can finally see it, because usually I'm not. They just had a virtual activities fair. So there's a lot happening on campus, and they're doing some great things to make sure that the students feel that community at Drew.
Well, that's awesome. Well, again, hopefully things will get back to normal by next fall, and and I know the campus is beautiful during the fall as well. So that's another beautiful picture here of you in your mascot costume. But I'm really appreciative that you took the time to chat with us. I know this is a busy time for you, and if anyone has questions, Elena is very accessible, and her colleagues, I'm sure as well, would be happy to answer any questions that anybody has about Drew. So thank you, Elena. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for having me. This was great.